Hi everyone. I'm planning on muting this during the presentation so I can talk over it, but recording this should help me get an idea of how long it will take, and maybe somebody wants to watch it later. But yes, I've got some software to show you. First, I'd like to make sure you know about this. If you have Windows, you can set up multiple desktops and try to compartmentalize and focus, for example, on research or teaching or personal life stuff. If you can't see this, you can go into settings and make multiple desktops available. Also, if you're having issues with your email, you can log in with a different Chrome profile instead of using a different browser. So that's something I've been doing. But the first main thing I wanted to show you is Grammarly. And this is because the university pays for our accounts, but many people do not know how to log in for the paid version. So you can Google Winter Cane Library Grammarly, and it will take you to this page, and then you will click here and use the WKU email. WKU only, not Cane. Cane will not do it. It'll be a problem. So you want to get the paid version. So you can go up in here. You can set the goals to be academic and APA. I've also got Grammarly downloaded on this computer, which you might notice later. But basically, the suggestions it gives for correctness are often quite useful. For example, I can accept this one. Clarity, they might call you out on passive voice. And engagement, it might give you something about, oh, that word is overused. So like the word important, it will say, change this to essential. It still makes mistakes. Like if I have this author that's got two last names, it will want me to change it to et al. But that's fine. I just can ignore it. I also would suggest ignoring the ones that say delivery because those might make it look more like it was written by AI. I know there are other AI features in here, but I don't use those. But that's Grammarly EDU, and I highly encourage you to use it. I learned a lot about my own writing just from using it during my doctorate. Okay, now I want to show you Zotero, which I have open in my research desktop. So here we go. We've got a bunch of articles saved in here, and I just downloaded a couple. And what I do is I drag these into the part that says My Library. And I'm just going to wait a minute or so. And it's going to grab the metadata from these files. It's just like other software. I don't expect it to be perfect, but I think it's going to get a lot that I need. A couple of common issues I've noticed is that it will capitalize the wrong words in titles, so I can fix that myself. Or I would need to manually put the volume and issue number into this one. But I'm still glad that it did that for me. Now, I actually already put these in here, so now I have two. So one trick you can do is you can go down to duplicate items and then merge them. Now I go back to my library, and they're still at the top because they're organized by when I added them. And it also has a way to add notes to these. So even if I was, say, for example, I wanted to log into my Zotero account at home, I can add some notes. I've got these notes here because I wanted just grab some quick stuff about it, such as the keywords. And one thing you can do in Zotero is you can add keywords as tags. So for example, I want to add listening comprehension. And now it's here. Now if I type in listening or listening comprehension, the articles will show up more quickly than if I was searching through my many. All right, so how did I get this stuff though? Did I read the article and make all these notes myself? I should have, but actually I used this. It's called the ChatPDF. And I just choose one of the PDFs and upload it. And I don't choose summarize this paper because it gives me something too long. And I know I should read this whole article, and perhaps I will later. But for now, I'm just curious about these two questions. So it asks these two questions, and it quickly gives me some answers. And then I have two questions I like to ask afterwards. So the questions I like to ask are, what are the keywords? And it's going to give me more than I would find here, right? It only gives me 5 here, but it's giving me more that I could add to my Zotero tags if I'd like. And I got to double check and make sure these are accurate, but it's good for quick grabs of information. And I also like to ask, what are this article's limitations and future research directions? And so I get that. And then I copy all of this and I put it in my Zotero notes, which you saw. And I've got a lot of these actually. See this one and this one. Now, one thing I used Zotero for like 5 years before realizing how to do this. I got to go to my Microsoft Word. And here I've got the abstracts. I grabbed these abstracts from Zotero itself. And I've got references, but why don't I try this again? I'm going to delete Wang and Zhang. And I'm going to delete this here. And then I go add edit citation. And I type Wang and Zhang. And I wanted the 2024 article, but there's more than one. So this is the correct one. If I want others, I can quickly add another name here, but this is what I need for now. Also not going to just use this abstract in my paper, but I just want to show you how it works. Okay, so now that I've added Wang and Zhang and I go down here, there they are. They're back in the bibliography. So all you have to do is the first time add a citation, and then after that add edit bibliography, and there you go. So I think that's pretty cool. I would like my students using this feature too. All right, so I had been using our Kane account for this, but now that Kane has switched to Outlook, I'm using my personal Google account. But what you do, you go to make a new spreadsheet on Google Sheets. You know how to find this, right? Sheets.google.com, or you can access it within your Google email. So over here on the right, it's got some tables. And I'm going to go with this one, recruitment applicants. And if you were on a hiring committee, you could have like basically a more detailed to-do list. Put their names, what stage of the hiring process, if there was a file you needed. You could have names of journals, and you could have the latest draft you submitted to them and the date that you submitted to them. And for me, I've been trying to get qualitative participants. So you can change these to say first email send, consent form sent, set up a time to do the interview. Interview complete is my favorite one. And you just hit the edit here and you can just add new ones. I could say, oh, I'm not hiring now. I don't need these. Yeah. If you wanted, you could download this and then upload it into Outlook. I've tried that and it didn't have the pretty colors. So that's up to you. Okay. And after that, I want to show you Dropbox Sign because I need to get people's signatures. And I got to be careful with this. I had to start over recording because it was showing people's names. So I'm going to make sure not to show anybody's names that may or may not have signed a form with me. So here is Dropbox Sign and templates. Use template for this study on perceptions of Grammarly. I won't click it because it might show names. But what I did was I put in my own name and email address and sent it to myself. And I think I have that email account open over here, my Gmail. Yeah, so it's saying signature requested, review and sign. And I'm recording this on the 5th floor of GEH. Maybe that's my mistake. It's a bit slow, but here we go. Here's the consent form. It's got my information. It already has my signature and date, but okay, this is a pretend one. Okay, so click to sign. Maybe I want to actually sign it this way. You don't have to. You could have one that they make, but it saves the IP address, so they know it's like a real signature from this real person. Okay, so there's my signature. Name is already typed. Date is there. And it's done. And then I will get an email saying this has been signed. And I have it as a PDF. So pretty cool. Better than chasing people down for signatures. Now, I had been using something called Doodle for booking, but one of the reasons I wanted to use it is because I didn't want to be double booking people. This is Doodle. I was using it for qualitative interviews, but I don't know what's going on with that. Suddenly it's letting me double book people. And the whole point is that I don't double book people. So anyway, now that we have Outlook, this works with the Kane account, not the WKU one. So just use the Kane account. Where did it go? All right. So yeah, you can create a booking page, which I did. Pretty easy. Just make sure you've set up the right time zone. And then you can share it. I chose available to anyone because I might have people outside of WKU or Kane that I need to book times with. And now they can go to this page. This is the link. I just opened it in an incognito one, so it will show what somebody else would see. Yeah, so here we go. I chose Thursday, 10:30. And then I put my name and email, and I could choose book. And I should be getting an email saying that there's a new booking. In fact, I wouldn't mind checking that. Okay. Yeah. So I got a new booking. Okay. So no problem there. And what else? Okay. So there's something else that some people may not want to use, but I think it's pretty cool, and it's called GammaAI. And I want to make a PPT. Let's say hypothetically I want to make a PPT about this presentation. All right. So there's my text, and going with default. And I'm not using AI to build onto this. And I'm not going to use AI to get images. Because, well, it depends what you want it for, but you could get some crazy, ridiculous images. I'm going to ask to search the web. And I'm going to say brief text. And do I need eight cards? Sure. Okay, I can choose the theme. Let's be professional. Here we go. Generate. I've actually had two tabs open before, and I would be making one while it's generating. I'm pasting in text to make another one. All right. So I've got this PPT now. You may like it, you may not, but I think it's good enough for me and my purposes for now. And if I want to, I can download it as a PPT or PDF, choose export to PowerPoint, and then I can put it in Canvas or wherever I need it. Okay. It reminded me of one more thing, which is this copy paste feature. As I was making it, I was grabbing stuff from my clipboard. So just in case anybody doesn't know about this, the clipboard in Windows will let you save 25 different items you've copied. And I go through here. These are the things I've copied recently. And if I need, I can go to settings. Clipboard. Clipboard settings. Yeah. Clipboard history. Save items to your clipboard. So that's kind of neat. All right. I guess I'll leave some time for questions, but that is the speed run. I believe I showed everything I wanted to show. I showed you that you can do multiple desktops in Windows. You can use multiple Google Chrome profiles, especially if it helps you stay logged into both work emails. Grammarly edu, Zotero, ChatPDF, probably the most controversial one. Microsoft Excel, and Outlook. Actually, I'm still using Google Sheets. DropBox Sign, official e-signatures, the booking system in Outlook, and GammaAI for Instant PPTs. Of course, you can go back and check and see if you need to change something. That's fine to change whatever you need to. And the Windows Clipboard, and I guess that's all of it. So thanks for your patience. I'll take a couple questions, and then let's get out of here. Have a good day.